Hey everyone, it is Atia, and we're doing another vlog project because I love these. I love getting through my long list of books that I say I want to read, including those I have checked out on Kindle Unlimited. Yes, we are doing that again. So I have 20 books that I have put into the wheel, and we are going to read 3 of them over the course of this vlog. I'm not going to give this a time limit because I'm a mood reader, and so when I finish this project, I finish this project, okay? So let me just give you a quick visual rundown of all the books that are on this list right now. And some of these are a holdover from the last time I did this project because I just have not read them yet, so they rolled on over into part 2. But yeah, I am ready to spin the wheel and see what we will be reading. I kind of want to spin 3 times just so I know, like, right off the bat the 3 books for this video instead of waiting until I finish one. You know, yeah, we'll do that. And then I will have Instagram pick out of those 3 what I start with. I think that's how we should do that. Spin number 1. Ooh. Let's do spin number 2. Spin number 3. Okay, these are all very different. When Life Gives You Lemons is a contemporary romance. Sinful Vow is a dark romance. And Saint and the Queen, I believe, is a fantasy romance. All romance, but 3 completely different subgenres. So this is going to be interesting. I am going to put up a poll on Instagram and see what wins. Hello. Let's talk about When Life Gives You Lemons, the book by Noor Sasha. I started this book on January 13th. I got to 21% on January 17th. It is now February 19th, and I have had absolutely no desire to pick this book up. None. The characters are so immature. Like, they are so immature, and the writing is not enough to make me want to continue with this book. Is it a bad book? Absolutely not. I'm just not interested in it whatsoever, like, at all. So, unfortunately, this is going to be a DNF, which is not tragic. It's not tragic at all. But it's unfortunate that it is a DNF because it looked like it was going to be super cute, but it is what it is. Our other 2 books for this vlog, I'm opening up my Notion to see what the other 2 books are. I think one of them, what is it? See, that's how long it's been since I've thought about this project, because I just was not interested in the book that I'm reading. So let's see. Siri, no one's talking to you. Shh. Good night.
Play which one?
Okay. So we have Sinful Vow and Saint and the Queen. Those are the 2 that are up against each other. I'm just looking because I can't remember. I think I'm gonna go with Sinful Vow. I've heard so much about this one, so many good things about this one, and yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. I do have a physical copy. It came in a Read Her book box, I believe, and I do have a physical copy that is like, yeah, I think I see it, and I don't feel like getting up on my step stool and getting the physical copy. But yeah, so I'm going to read Sinful Vow. That's what we're going to switch over to. Hopefully I have better luck with that one. And you might be asking yourself, what is that about? Sinful Vow by Asia Monique. It's an arranged marriage mafia romance. Book 1 of 6 of the Mafia Misfits. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, we're just gonna jump into it, dive into it, and see what happens, and hopefully this is a better experience than When Life Gives You Lemons, only because not a better, well, yes, a better experience, and not that, again, When Life Gives You Lemons was a negative experience or a bad experience. It was just a bleh experience. Like, I did not want to return to that book. There was nothing pulling me to that book. And luckily this is a project that's not surrounded on that one book, because there's another vlog project that I'm working on that surrounds 2 specific books, and one of the books I've kind of just stalled on. Come on, Siri. Kindle, where's my book at? Oh, here it is. You know what I want? I want Kindle books to open on the cover page. Is there a way to change that setting? So far, I don't see that. I also just turned my Kindle to dark mode, and I'm wondering if I will enjoy dark mode rather than light mode, because my phone, well, yeah, my computers are always on dark mode for like everything. And I think my phone changes at a certain time, like auto adjust. But I guess with one of the new Kindle updates, we got that. I'm wondering how dark mode works with manga though. Yeah, I already feel my eyes, like, they feel better looking at dark mode in a book, but I wonder what manga looks like. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, so it looks the same. Only thing it changed is like the rim of it. So yeah, I'm gonna try out Kindle dark mode, but I really want to know, is there a way to have Kindle books start on the title, they don't even start on the title page, they start on like the first page of the story. Like, what if I don't want that?
Can I make it so that my Kindle opens on cover page?
Wow, apparently there's like no way to do that. Wait, what? Yeah, there's no way to like have it automatically do that. But yeah, so that's the update on that. We are going to dive into Sinful Vow, and I will circle back to you when I've made some progress. Maybe when I get like 30% of the way done. Been a disgustingly long amount of time since I've updated this vlog project, mostly because it has been a disgustingly long amount of time since I've read a book for this challenge or for this vlog. It is now May. I know. I'm gonna let us sit with that. Last time I updated it, I believe it was in February. I just checked the footage. It was. But it's mid-May. Actually, exactly May 15th. I am participating in Kindle KU and Kindle Mayhem, hosted by Nicole from Dusty Book Sniffers and Neva from Read Reniva. And so I'm like really, I guess I should give a brief synopsis of what that readathon is. And basically you choose either 20 Kindle Unlimited books, 20 books you have in your Kindle, or you can do the hybrid method. So 10 and 10, which is what I'm doing. And you are trying to make a dent of that TBR during the month of May. Move, bug. Oh my goodness. And so I've been participating with that, and I've actually been doing really well. Let me pull up the graphic. Where is it? And I'll put the TBR graphic on the screen so you can see it. Yeah, so I created a TBR of 20 Kindle books 10 Kindle books that I own, 10 ebooks that I already owned, oh my goodness, and 10 books from Kindle Unlimited, or something like that. I don't actually think it was an even 10 split. I think it may have been, let me see, 9, 10. Yeah, I did an even 10 split. And so far, I've read 1, 2, 3 books from this challenge, and I'm currently reading, like actively reading 2 other ones. And I want to talk about these in a bit. Actively reading 2 other ones. So the last time we chatted, last time we spoke, I had spun for Sinful Vow. What I realized, and I might have realized it in that clip, is that I physically own Sinful Vow, and because I physically own it, it kind of made no sense for me to include it in a KU challenge, because I like literally physically own the book. I've pulled it, where is it? It's someplace sitting right in front of me, because I keep telling myself to read it physically. And of course, as I'm saying this, I cannot locate it. Wow, I know I pulled that book physically. I know I took it off my shelf and I put it, wow, that's wild. That's so wild. Where is this book? Okay, I found it. It's on a shelf that I put like books for video projects, and I had put it there. So yeah, I own the book physically. I pulled it so I could read it physically. It hasn't happened yet, but I do plan on reading it at some point. I guess I can move it from that shelf since I'm not going to read it on Kindle. And I decided, since I'm doing this Kindle Mayhem challenge, that I might as well not restart, but kind of reinvigorate or put some more energy behind this vlog project, because this is something I was excited about. And I guess this will just be me documenting my progress and experience for the rest of the month of May, because it is May 15th. I have already finished 3 books. I am in the middle of 2 other books that I am excited about. So I guess I can talk about 3 books that I finished, starting with, and I'm trying to remember which one I finished first. Okay, so I finished Ablaze by A.H. Cunningham first. This is a polyamorous why choose romance between 1 woman and 2 men. And this is also kind of like a second chance romance as well, because we have 2 characters and their names I'm not even going to try. And this is the second book in the Firecracker Cousins series, but you know, they can be read as standalones. I did not read the first book in the series. I do plan on going back and reading it, but I did not read the first 2. So we have Mariana Torres, Mason Braithwaite, and then Daniel Robinson. So Mariana and Mason have been friends forever, but they also have like an on again, off again fling type situation where Mason is head over heels in love with Mariana, and Mariana feels that she cannot fully commit in a way that Mason deserves. That's just not the way that her heart and her mind are set up. So they have this like on again, off again thing. Mason invites Mariana as his date to this event that he's been invited to by this like big wig company, because he runs, I believe, a community center, and they're looking for funding. And he's like, you know, the person who leads this organization is very like macho, believes that there's one particular way to be a Black man and all this other stuff. Oh, Mason is bisexual, so that's another thing. I say that because of the comment that the leader of this organization that he was invited to kind of gave off. He does. Like, you interact with him, he gives off very queerphobic, homophobic, misogynistic, toxic masculine vibes the entire book. And so Mason peeps that energy, and he's like, okay, well, let me bring a woman companion to assuage his whatever. And so he brings Mariana, and they're, you know, kiki haha, kikiing it up at this event. And the son of the head honcho of this organization peeps them from across the room, and he likes their energy, and he senses that there's something, you know, he's intrigued by both of them. And that is how that relationship starts. It starts off very much like this, we'll see where this goes, and there's not like a lot of pressure to make it into a relationship, because Mariana is very, I don't want to say she is flighty. I was gonna say she's not flighty. She is so flighty. Whereas Mason, he's very much like, I'm not about to let you break my heart again, so we're gonna have very clear boundaries. And Daniel is like, bet, like, I'm walking into a situation that's not of already been established, but already has some history to it. I really love the character development. Each character had things that they were obviously trying to overcome and get over. Mariana is trying to fulfill this role of the perfect daughter, and because of that, I guess they're all trying to fulfill the role of the perfect child or the perfect offspring, and that's very limiting. And so I said that Daniel's father was the head of the company. It's actually his stepfather who he has a horrible relationship, and he doesn't really have a relationship with his mother because the mother always takes up for the stepfather and has not defended her son. And the father is also, he's so horrible towards Daniel, and it's a lot of it is fueled by his queer-phobic thoughts and opinions about Daniel. And so that there's that, and Daniel has to deal with that and all that. And there's definitely some kink in this as well. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I recommend it. I'm looking forward to seeing what else A.H. Cunningham has written. Like I said, I do plan on reading the first book in the Firecracker Cousin series, which is called A Light, and then the third book is Embers, and there's also a novella. But yeah, and then the second book that I finished is Love Notes by Christina C. Jones. This is another Black romance, and we have, what are their names? That's so annoying. It really annoys me when synopses don't have the characters' names in them, because why? So we have a woman, she has moved back into town after just going out of town, and she was not happy where she was. She is a photographer. She was doing a lot of corporate photography. It was not fulfilling her, and so she moves back to her town. And then we have I really forgot his name. We have a man, he's a barber, and he has decided that he's going to give up his playboy ways, and he's like, I'm not gonna mess around with nobody. But then he's at this club and he sees her from across the room, and what piqued his interest about her was her haircut, because she has, like, I think half of her head is shaved, or like she has an undercut. And then she notices that someone is staring at her, and she turns around, it's him, and she's like, oh, like, you know. And he's like, no, like, I really just liked your cut and was wondering who your barber was. And that starts their relationship. And she's reluctant to get into anything, and he's just kind of like, I don't understand why I feel this way about her. But it was really cute, really nice. I enjoyed the character development. There is some mention of parental abuse and neglect on the part of the photographer, because her mother just was not a mother, and her stepfather was horrible. So there's a lot of that. But I really enjoyed the relationship between the photographer and her cousin. They are roommates, but also they more so grew up like sisters, because the cousin's parents were the ones who took care of the photographer when her mother was not being a mother. And I really wish I remembered the names. I did not expect the synopsis not to have the names in them. And I ended up giving Love Notes by Christina C. Jones 4 stars. And then we have How to Be a Better Adult by Jacques Aye. And this one is so funny. It is a magical realism, satirical, funny, contemporary novel about a woman, Hope, who she's just trying to be an adult. She ends up pushed out of her job for reasons that really are not her fault, her corporate job, and she is trying to figure out before she's kicked out of her job, she's trying to figure out how to navigate being the only one in the office, the only Black woman in the office, and all the microaggressions that come with that. And she finds this book in her apartment that has, I want to say, enchanted pages that are trying to guide her how to be a better adult. And she's trying to figure out, you know, how to take these instructions. At first she thinks she's losing it, because she's like, why is the book talking to me? But I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I read this in about 2 days, and I gave How to Be a Better Adult 4 stars. What am I currently reading? This is a long clip, but this is what happens when you decide to start a vlog 5 books into the challenge. I am currently reading A Woman Is No Man. This is about 2 generations of Palestinian women, told from the perspective mainly of 3 different women. Really a mother and a daughter, and then kind of the mother-in-law. And this book is heavy, y'all. I mean, oh my goodness, but it's saying so much about gender roles and about the blurred lines between culture and religion. And it's saying a lot about mother-daughter relationships and how sometimes the trauma or the lack of love in those relationships gets passed down generation to generation until someone decides to finally break that curse. We'll call it a curse. Someone decides to break that curse. And it also touches upon how strict gender roles and the idea of, you know, a woman's place and a man's place is also harmful to men as well. It might not be as physically harmful and as emotionally harmful, or as men. It's not as harmful, but it is still harmful. And how that harm, it just creates a cycle. It really just creates a cycle. There's a great passage in here where the mother-in-law is reflecting on how, I mean, I despise her. She's horrible. But the mother-in-law is reflecting on how her husband would come home and beat her and take out his rage on her because when he left the home, he was being beaten and targeted just for existing. And so he had all this rage that built up. And because of the culture, he thought that it was okay and acceptable to take that rage out physically, mentally, and emotionally on his wife. And, you know, of course, she can't do anything. She has no power, and she's not going to, hopefully, she doesn't do that to her children. But instead of doing that to her children, she then teaches both her sons and her daughters that that is just the way it works. And you get this cycle of just like trauma and abuse and neglect and misogyny. And it's saying so many hard things. And I'm so upset that I actually sold this book a few years ago on my Pango book storefront because I never thought that I would, or not I never thought, but it just wasn't calling to me. And I was like, you know, if I ever do want to read it, then I can take it out from the library. And then it happened to be on sale on Kindle for like 99 cents or $1.99. And so I got it that way. And now I want a physical copy again. I know how the tables have turned. I really searched my shelves and was like, I really got rid of that book. I really got rid of that book. But yeah, so I am looking on Pango Books to find a copy. But there's that. And then I'm also reading The Lotus Palace. This is gonna load for me. And this is a historical romance that takes place in, I forget what time period, and it says in ancient China. And we have a maidservant, Yue Ying, and she is the maidservant to one of the high-profile courtesans. And then we have Bai Wang, who is the son of a bureaucrat. And they end up kind of inadvertently teaming up to solve the murder of another high-profile courtesan to clear Bai Wang's name. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm at like 35% and it's going really fast. I'm intrigued to see how the romance develops between the two of them, because right now Yue Ying is like, stop talking to me, and Bai Wang is like, no. So yeah, I didn't know that a historical or a romantic mystery was something I liked, but it kind of makes sense because I really enjoy romantic suspense. So this is just another side to that coin. And yeah, that is my very lengthy update to this vlog. I will update you when I finish either A Woman Is No Man or The Lotus Palace, and then I will decide the next book to slot into rotation, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have one book from Kindle Unlimited and one ebook that I own going at the same time for my TBR. And right now it's a little uneven because I've finished one KU book, 2 ebooks that I own. So I need to catch up on the KU front. All right, time to wrap up the Kindle Mayhem adventure. I am battling an allergy attack, so like, don't mind the voice. So I finished A Woman Is No Man, and I gave that book, of course I forget as soon as I turn the camera on, I gave that 4.75 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I talk about it in one of my recent wrap-ups. I'll put the thumbnail here of the wrap-up that I'm referring to. so you can hear more of my in-depth thoughts about that book. But it definitely is a tough book to get through, and I am glad that I finally read it, and I look forward to reading this author's other work, Evil Eye. And then in terms of The Lotus Palace, I DNF'd this book. I was over 50% and I realized that I simply did not care. I didn't care about the romance that was supposed to be happening. I didn't care about the mystery that was supposed to be happening. I just didn't care. Like, it was a drag to read it. And for what it is, it should not have taken me the entire month to read that book. So I ended up DNFing it around like 55% of the way through. And then I made a little bit of progress on Bricks and Murder. I got to page like 43. I'm still making my way through that in the month of June, and once again, really enjoying it. And this is my like full Kindle Mayhem wrap up. Everything I read in DNF and make progress in. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. All of my links are down below, and I will see you in another video. Bye.
I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.